if my goal in going into a conversation is to improve my relationship with you, does that make me some kind of a fake person, right? Oh, I'm a fake person because I'm just trying to trick Dave into liking me. It's like, no, actually, I want us to win.
Yeah.
And by the way, this goes back to the difference between leadership and manipulation, which I talk about in this book.
Yeah.
So if my goal is to get you to do something that's going to benefit me, yeah, that's manipulation, and it's wrong. If my goal in improving our relationship is so that our team can do better, we can accomplish our mission, and both those things, by the way, benefit you, well, guess what that's called? It's called leadership.
So, with that, how, because some people on the flip side of that whole spectrum is like, they'll do that, but it's almost like, and I guess it's a question for you. So, okay, you ever watch Coming to America? Remember that show? Eddie Murphy. So it was where Eddie Murphy's African guy comes in.
And they're like princes or something in Africa. Yeah, I remember.
So he comes in.
Arsenio Hall was also in that,
correct? Yes, yeah,
right?
He was in there a bunch. Yes, sir. So anyways, so someone tells him that he's like, hey, you got to get in good with the dad. That's how you do it. So he's like, okay, he's going to build this relationship. Apparently, he goes in and it's like weird, So essentially, the point is he forced it. He tried to force it, so it didn't work. So in real life, how that looks is like, you ever get like, I don't know, your friend's like a real estate agent or something, and he's sending you like handwritten notes, like, hey, just wondering how you're doing. You're like, bro, I don't even know you that good, It's like when it's real obvious when they try to force a good relationship, and it almost makes you kind of suspicious. I mean, nowadays it does. For sure. So it's almost like
it's called a brown noser. And people can, if you're a brown noser, that's a good point. Yeah, right? But there's a dichotomy with everything. If you go so far that all I'm looking to do is please Dave with this conversation, there's no tension at all, and there's nothing, just me being a pushover. Well, guess what happens with his respect for me? Its respect goes down a little bit. So I'm not talking about you gotta be just a brown noser at all.
Yeah. No. And then that's true too. But there's and the one I was thinking about, or the type of person I'm thinking about, is like, you can tell that this person, you're just trying to build a relationship for me or with me. I don't know why. I can suspect why. Maybe you want my business, or maybe you want something. I know, and that's kind of at the forefront.
So I mentioned this later in the book. You know how you just crush that? I'll tell you how you crush it. When I'm talking to Dave, you know why I'm talking to Dave, and you know why I want to build a relationship? Because I care about Dave.
Yeah.
The number one thing when I'm talking to Dave knows that, you know what, I care about Dave. If that's the underlying principle on which I'm doing this is because I care about him, he's gonna know that subconsciously, right? Subconsciously, and maybe sometimes you got to be a little bit more proactive and make sure that someone understands it. Like, I mean. And it doesn't mean proactive by saying, hey, Dave, I really care about you. That doesn't work. You can't just say it. Yeah. You got to prove by your actions. You got to show people like, hey, guess what's more important than me? You.
Yeah.
So when I'm talking to you and I'm listening to you and I'm taking your advice on board and I'm saying, yeah, you know what, let's go with your plan. I'm doing that because I want you to execute your plan. I want you to learn from your plan. I want to support your plan because I care about you.
Yeah, that makes that's good right there. That makes sense now. So it's almost like, actually it is, where if I want to build a relationship with Dave, I'm not going to think, okay, let me actively build a relationship just out of the blue or out of nothing. It's like, it's more like that's almost in a way secondary. Well, the primary thing is like, do I need to talk to Dave? Then yeah, I'll talk to Dave. But while I do that, the point is to build a relationship with him. I'm not going to be like, I need to build a relationship with Dave. Where's Dave? Let me call him up and start trying to build a relationship with him. See what I'm saying?
So you're right, and there's a danger here that someone's going to be encouraged to force their impose good relationships on people, right? Yeah. So that you got to be careful at. And again. And actually, here's the next line in this book. You are not building the relationship so you can garner favor from the boss. No, you are trying to build a relationship so the boss trusts you and will listen to you so you and the team can more effectively accomplish the mission.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. You want to accomplish the mission, which is good for everybody. And then it goes back and says, for these reasons, choose your battle carefully. Because if you remember, this whole paragraph is about, like, when do you actually approach the boss? When is it worth saying to the boss, hey, boss, can you explain this to me? Because I'm not sure that I understand what you want to have happen here. if it's not worth that conversation because it's not going to be that big of a difference, just go with it. Just go with it.
But what I'm saying is, like, I could see someone maybe reading this. I could see me reading, let's face it. I could see me reading that and go into, like, let's say I had a job. And I could read that and I'd be like, hey, let me build a relationship with Jocko. And then I'll just roll in kind of out of the blue and be like, hey, because I'm building my relationship so I can garner trust. That's what I'm doing right now. So this is what I'm going to do. Hey, Jocko, did you catch that football game last night? And you're like, what are you talking about? Like, you're acting weird.
Here's the deal. If the premise that you go in on is you want to build a relationship with me for your own benefit, I'm going to see right through that, and so is anybody else. If the premise that you go in is because you care about me and you're wondering if I saw the football game because you know I like football and you want to talk to me about it and you care about me, that's going to shine through. And I'm not going to think this other negative thing. So yes, if you're a person that's walking around and you're going to use the principles in this book to benefit yourself, everyone's going to see through it. It doesn't work. And what's really cool, and this is all the closing of the book is what we're getting to right now, is if you want to have a successful run as a leader and you want to rise to the top, the best possible way to do that is to care about your team, care about the mission, take care of them, and that will show through, and eventually you will get to the top. If you're sitting there thinking, hey, I want to get to the top, so I'm ready to do whatever it takes and step on people or use people, it's so obvious. It's so obvious when someone's playing that game, and you can barely even fake it. You can barely even fake it. Like, well, I'm going to get to the top, but I know I have to be cool with Dave, my boss. So I'm going to manipulate here. And here's the really sad thing. If you're that person, you think no one can see it. Right. Everyone can see it.
That was kind of the point there where, like, you got to be careful with that kind of stuff. Where, like, if I'm trying to build a relationship, like, bro, they can see what you're doing, like, because again, this is part
you got to be careful with it. Here's how you be careful with it. If you're trying to do this for yourself, it's not going to work. If you're trying to do this because you care about the team, it's going to work. And you're going to win. You personally are going to win if you do this. If you do this because you want to win, you're going to lose. If you do this because you want to take care of those people and you want the team to win and you want them to accomplish the mission so that they can elevate, it will work.
Yeah, that's true, huh? If I want to win.
If you're a young leader right now listening to this conversation and thinking about how you can build a relationship and the power of the relationship with your people, actually how you interact with that individual person isn't the biggest thing, because what those people on your team are doing is watching you. So maybe Jocko comes down and wants to build a relationship with me and, okay, I'm trying to figure it out, is he authentic or genuine? What I actually get to do is watch Jocko with the other 10 dudes on the team. And over time, if Jocko is just how he is and he believes in that, and that actually he's going to treat everybody the same way. And it's not going to be what he does or says to me that gets me to buy off that he's on board with this. As I'm going to see him in in everything else that he does. I'm going to come to the conclusion, like, dude, this is legit. That guy cares about everybody else being successful. And then look, your people are going to need you at times. And you will have opportunities to build relationships, but the authenticity isn't just what do I say to Echo to get Echo to like me or curry favor with Echo. Because actually what you're doing to your leader is you're watching everything they're doing. And the reason being fake about it doesn't work isn't because I just see it with me, is I see you do it with everybody else. That's why it's so obvious, because you're out there trying to figure out how to play the game with all these 10 different people. And if you're faking it, it's gonna be completely obvious. Not because of how you and I interact. So the thing that actually has to start with, if you've now put in charge of a team or a leader, go back and read that 2nd Platoon commander from Jocko's 2nd Platoon. He didn't walk in and go, I'm honored to lead you, to count you as people that work for me on my team. He just said, I'm happy to be a part of this, and I'm happy to help make this team win. That's it. You don't need to elevate the stature. Everybody knows who the boss is. The chain of command is understood. Everybody's got that hierarchy. What you actually need to do is look for ways to break down those barriers and just have them recognize all this guy cares about is us winning. That's all he cares about. And by behavior after behavior after behavior, eventually you're either doing it or you're not. And if you're doing it, people are going to get on board. If you're not, you're going to fail no matter what you do. And people are going to see that a mile away.
Well, yeah, smell it on you.